quick video this morning on our teacher's letter, and it explains what it's about. If you've never received one before, if your child's never used one before, watch this quick video. It'll explain everything and how to use it and why it's so important. Is for the parents. Hey, I wanted to make a quick video for, especially if you're new or if you've been here for less than a year or so. One of the things that we always do is we do, for every testing cycle, we do various stripes for learning different things, but we also do various stripes for knowing different things or doing different things. We generally call it character development, white stripe, and purple stripe. Purple stripe we usually have for different things, and this time we have it for what's called the teacher's letter. Your child may have come home with one of these, and what this is a letter for the teachers in their class. So what's going to happen is, sorry, I'm so sweaty. We just got through with our morning workouts. What's going to happen is your child's teacher is going to decide if they get their purple stripe or not. Oh my goodness, are you serious? Yeah, so let me explain. So over the last few weeks, we know kids have been going back to school, and we've been talking about teachers and how teachers help you and how you learn from your teachers and what's the best way to learn, by watching and listening and following the teacher's directions. Your teachers are there to help you, so you want to help your teacher also, because friends help each other and they share with each other. So we've told the kids that the best way for them to help their teacher is by watching, listening, and following those directions. Now, I know that most children, 80% of children who have some type of difficulty in school, it can be fixed with simple solutions. So for instance, this week a parent was telling me that they're having trouble in school with their child. The teacher says that their child keeps talking in class. So my question was, because I've heard this a bunch, who's your child sitting next to? Oh, they're sitting next to their best friend. Oh, well, it's a simple solution. Put them on separate sides of the class. If you separate them, they'll be less inclined to talk. And sure enough, that was the solution, and it was just that simple. Sometimes it's more complicated, but sometimes it's just that simple. Grades and things like that sometimes have simple solutions. You can sometimes improve, a letter grade or 10 points by simply turning your work in on time, watching the teacher, not just listening, but watching the teacher when they talk. And of course, listening to what the teacher says. And what this does is watching the teacher. See, most of our communication is not with words. Most of them are with actions or writing on the board or things like that, or I'm going to give you this paper. So if you're watching, you can kind of see what's happening. And of course, listening for the directions. Whenever a child is listening, they engage their focus on what's happening, so their focus gets better. And then of course, just follow the directions. Don't do anything extra, just follow the directions, turn your work in on time, follow the steps. If you do those three things, their letter grades will improve. So with that being said, this time your teacher or their teacher is going to decide if they get their purple stripes. So we have this letter explaining some of the things that we do in the class, how we want to help teachers, how they can help us, how we can help them, all of those things. And on the back side, see, it's kind of light, it's kind of coming through here. I don't know if you can see it, but on the back side, it's got just a couple questions. Now how many are there? There's 3 for 3 teachers. A lot of kids will have 1 teacher or 2 teachers. Some kids will have 8, 9, 10 teachers, a lot of teachers. But if they only have 1 teacher, they'll just do 1. If they have 2, they'll do 2. They have 3, they'll do 3. If they have more, like some of the kids that are in, intermediate or high school or, sometimes even middle school, they'll have more than 1 teacher and they need more than 3. We have an extra page here that's got 3 on this side, 3 on this side. So you can have up to 9. If you need more than that, then you must be a genius. You got a lot of teachers going there. But the questions are not about what grade does your child make, but about the underlying factors of how they produce their grade. For instance, it says, how is the student's progress? How is their attitude and their focus in class? It's really great. These are really great questions. These are the things that are the most important things. And then, of course, what major improvements are needed, and what areas, and what area is the student doing well? So here's the thing. Whenever we hand these out, never has a teacher said the child is getting an A+, or the child is getting a D, or a child is whatever. The teacher never I've never seen a teacher in all the years I've doing this has ever come back with something like that. Do you know why? Because teachers are about teaching. They appreciate understanding what the underlying causes are. So a lot of times they'll come back and say, oh, they've got a great attitude. They really put their whole heart into it. Sometimes they talk too much, but they're good at redirection. Excuse me. Or they'll say, struggles sometimes with listening, but has a great attitude and is a good person, right? So teachers oftentimes will have that type of feedback. And it's not about the grade, but it's about the underlying things. When your child gets this back, I encourage you to read it. I encourage the children to read it. As a matter of fact, I'll often ask them, hey, did you read this? Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. I encourage you to read it, because your teacher is literally telling you what your child has to do to get a good grade, to pass the class and to do well in school. Your teacher is telling you, or their teacher is telling them, what they need to do well in their class. So I encourage the parents to read it, and I encourage the parents and the kids to read it too. Sometimes kids will read it and go, oh man, I feel so bad. Why would you feel bad? Your teacher's helping you. They're giving you a chance to improve. So anyway, this is this paper. If you've never gotten one before, this is a very, very important tool. Make sure your child takes it to the school. Make sure they hand it to the teacher. Don't give it to the teacher and leave it with them, because the teacher is very busy. I don't know if you know this or not, but teachers have a lot of papers on their desks, a lot of things. And if you've got 3 teachers and you leave it with one and they accidentally lose it, or it gets shuffled, or it takes them a day or 2 to get it back, that's a long time. Listen, just have them write 1 or 2 sentences. Your teacher knows what you need to work on. Your teacher knows you best because they're with you every day. Just say, this is how you do it. You go, excuse me, Mrs. Jones, I got this paper that I need for my class, and I need to know how I'm doing in your class and how I can improve, or what is best. Can I get you to write like a couple of things on here for me? The teacher will say, yes, absolutely. Because very few times do teachers get a chance to, give feedback to their students, especially for parents. So they're going to take just a second, write it down. When they give it back to you, kids, you make sure you say, thank you, ma'am, or thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And then you can go to the next teacher. Remember, for the children, this is for the kids, this is your responsibility. Make sure you hang on to it, all right? For the parents, it's very important for them. This helps them learn responsibility. Just like the cards at the beginning of class, they get their cards, they hold on to it. That is just a little minor thing that helps them learn responsibility. This is another thing that kind of helps them learn responsibility. These things over time will change how they see themselves, how they act, and the person they are, and the trajectory of their life. The direction of their life can change by just a bunch of little simple habits like this. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing the feedback from everybody. Man, I can't wait to see it. It's always great what the teachers write. And it also helps me too, because I get to see how I can help them. Maybe the teacher says they need more focus or more direction or something like that. I get to see how I get to help them too with the lessons that we have in the class as well. So it kind of helps me kind of direct some of those. So anyway, thank you. I look forward to seeing everything. Thanks.